Hello, everybody. This is Aiden Briggs back with you again, and we are doing episode 1 of the 2018 MLB Team Preview Series. So, we'll go to that in a minute, but I'm sorry, guys, that I didn't make some videos lately. I had a lot of things going on. I had surgery and a couple other things, but I am back, ready to give you all 30 teams, preview them. This is episode 1, and it's of the defending champion Houston Astros. And let's get right to it. They won the World Series 4-3 over the Dodgers last year. That that was a great series. I think it was just an amazing series. The best one I've ever witnessed. And especially the games, Game 5 and Game 2 were both crazy, and they both went the Astros' way, which were kind of the deciding factors. Talk about Game 2, that was very, very low scoring, and then there was all sorts of comebacks. Then George Springer ended up winning it with a bomb in the top of I think it was 11th, and then the Astros won that game 7-6. And then in Game 5, it was Alex Bregman was the hero of a absolutely crazy 13-12 game. It was just back and forth all the time. Astros had a 3-run lead going into the 9th. Cody Bellinger doubled to make it a 1-run game, and then somebody knocked him in to tie the game. It went to extra innings. Then Alex Bregman came up with a huge hit Alex Bregman scored, I think. I don't know who it was that made the hit, but Alex Bregman scored. Absolutely crazy play. What a game that was. So that was a great series. The MVP of that series was George Springer. Of course, we could talk about him all we want because what he did was phenomenal. I mean, he really, really struggled first couple of games, and so he couldn't hit the ball. And then Game 2, he hit a big homer. And then after that, he just took off. Hit homers in 5, hit a homer in 6, hit a homer in 7. I think in 4, so it was like 4 straight games with a homer in the World Series, a record, and that's why he got MVP. Hit great, played great, definitely deserving. Their record last year was 101-61, which was crazy. I think it was their best record ever. They're better on the road last year, which is kind of surprising. Better on the road away from home. And neutral, actually, they had a couple of games because they played after the Hurricane Harvey, which was really devastating there. They played a couple of games in Citi Field last year, so I don't think they won a game at Citi Field. Or no, that was Tropicana Field, at Tropicana Field. I don't think they won a game there, but they played a couple neutral games, which was interesting. But they were better on the road last year statistically, but they were still great at home. I mean, the team was great everywhere. The manager was AJ. The manager this year is AJ Hinch. He was manager this last year. I think when they moved to the AL East, or AL West, they had a different manager, and then I think Hinch actually got hired 2016. Yeah, Hinch got hired 2016, has been there since, won a championship. Really good job by AJ Hinch, so I'm excited to see what he does with the Astros this year. Hitting. Their best hitter, in my opinion, is Jose Altuve. I love Jose Altuve. Being a second baseman and being small like him, he really is awesome. And he makes me feel, I don't know, he just makes me feel great when I watch him. He's a great player, makes some crazy plays, hits the ball far, hits the ball hard. He's awesome. Great personality, it seems like. So, Jose Altuve, I like him a lot, and I'd say he's their best hitter. Their lineup overall, George Springer is in center field, talked about him being the World Series MVP. Alex Bregman at third. He's actually a prospect, and not too long ago, 2016 All-Star game, he played in the Futures game, and that was the game I went on the field and stuff, and I actually got his autograph, which is really cool. I think it's up there somewhere, and yeah, so he's only what? Last year was his first, I think it was it really was his first year in the big leagues. I never heard of him. He came up at the end of 2016. Then he made the team last year, ended up being a World Series hero. He even hit a homer off Chris Sale in the playoffs. Altuve, we've talked about, he's in the 3-hole. Carlos Correa, energetic young kid at short. I really like him. He has some good power too. Yuri Gurriel hits 5th at first base. But he is going to miss the opening part of the 2018 season because he got a suspension for the first 5 games. In the World Series, I think it was Game 3. Gurriel, was it Game 3? Yes, it was Game 3. Gurriel hit a homer off Yu Darvish, who obviously really struggled in the World Series, and then as he got back, made some racial remarks toward him. I'm not going to explain that, but so he is suspended for the first 5 games by the MLB. It was a good idea by the MLB to not give him the suspension for the series because I believe so. I mean, people could have different opinions, but I believe so because that would affect the whole team. That wouldn't just affect him. In just 5 games at the beginning of the season, it affects the team not having their best first baseman and maybe their best power hitter, but it doesn't affect the team as much while they're vying for a championship. So definitely a good idea by the MLB in my thought. Josh Reddick hits 6th. He's in right field. He's pretty decent. I think he's a better fielder than hitter, but he's always been a good player. I like watching him too. He works hard. So Josh Reddick. Evan Gattis, the DH, he is a strong man. He wears no batting gloves, and he is a strikeout or hit a homer guy. I mean, he didn't really play every day last year, but now he's probably, I think he's gonna play most days this year. Hitting 8th is Derek Fisher in left field. He was more of a prospect last year. Didn't really come up or anything. Well, he came up and he played a lot last year actually, and he's in left field. He's a decent guy. I don't really know that much about him. Great fielder, I've heard, and he's fast. Yeah, I've heard he's fast. I saw, I don't know. I think it was the World Series. Yes, it was. Know what? He actually scored the run. Yes, he actually scored the run on Bregman's double. So Bregman doubled him in. So I'm sorry about that. I had that all wrong. But yeah, Bregman doubled him in to win that game, and which would be a very pivotal Game 5, giving the Astros a 3-2 lead going back to LA. Brian McCann, the catcher, it's 9th. I thought he was going to retire after they won the World Series. I guess not. So we'll see what he can do. He's always a great player. He'll probably hit pretty decent again. We will see. Number 1 bench player is Marwin Gonzalez. Gonzalez plays a lot, I have to say. I mean, I think with Gurriel out for the first 5 games, I think Derek Fisher is going to move to first, and Marwin Gonzalez is going to step in left field. So that would make sense. Marwin can actually also play first if they needed him to, but I think Derek Fisher would be more of a candidate for first, and Marwin would be more of an outfielder. So we'll see. Overall, for their hitting, I give them a grade A. They're very, very good. They have a deep lineup. They have a very good utility. Fisher can move around. Gonzalez can move around. Bregman can play anywhere in the infield. They have a really, really good utility kind of thing. They can move everyone anywhere. They have a deep lineup. I really like this lineup for the Astros. The pitching. Justin Verlander, in my opinion, is their best pitcher. You could go Dallas Keuchel. I could see you go Dallas Keuchel. I remember at the trade deadline last year how they pulled off Justin Verlander in the final seconds of the trade deadline. There was like 26 seconds or something left, or crazy when they announced that deal. So that was huge. I mean, they needed some pitching. They were very low. Dallas Keuchel, their ace, then was hoping for that. Now Justin Verlander is going to return, and I think he's going to be the ace this year. We'll see. Very good pitcher. He's old. He knows the game. He's a veteran. He won his first World Series last year. Pretty good. I like him a lot. Dallas Keuchel's the 2. We just talked about him. He has a mad nice beard, I'll tell you that. But the thing with Dallas Keuchel that I like a lot is his control. He does not walk. He strikes out a lot more than he walks. And Dallas Keuchel actually started the first ever game for the Astros in the AL. So he's going to be that 2 pitcher behind Verlander. We'll see how he can do. Lance McCullers is the 3. He came up huge in the playoffs. Game 7 against the New York Yankees. He came up huge in that game. He is a guy, he's fiery, and he gives a spark to this ball club. He can throw fast. He's a good pitcher. I like him a lot. Garrett Cole, they just acquired him this offseason, is the 4. Garrett Cole, he was great on the Pirates. He actually made the All-Star team, I think in 2013, I think it was. He was their ace that year, pitched in the wild card game, pitched in the playoffs when the Pirates were good. But Garrett Cole has moved, I think it was via trade, to the Houston Astros. That's a very good rotation. Verlander, Keuchel, McCullers, Cole. I like it a lot. Bullpen, Ken Giles, the closer, is back. Ken Giles is kind of iffy for me. I mean, I don't really like him, and I would not like him in big games. I mean, there's a very loud crowd. In the playoffs, he really failed in the playoffs, did not pitch well, blew a couple of saves, including two against the Dodgers, actually. 2 to get those games to extra innings, I think 2 and 5. But he really struggled in the postseason. I mean, he's a decent closer, though. He'll be fine. Will Harris at the 2. Not much to say about him. Brad Peacock. He came up big. Peacock. No, it was Musgrove. Peacock. Chris Davinsky, sidearm pitcher, at the number 4 spot in the bullpen. The number 5, Joe Musgrove. He came up big in the postseason last year. Made a couple of really big appearances in the World Series and ALCS to help the Astros clinch those series. And we'll see how he can do this year at that spot. For overall pitching, I give them an A-. They're a little iffy in the bullpen, which is why, but I like Harris, I like Peacock, I like Davinsky. Those guys can definitely set up Giles good. Their rotation is really, really good. That's mostly what gives them this good push. Verlander, Keuchel, those are 2 aces right there. Even Garrett Cole could be an ace. And then Lance McCullers is a very fiery pitcher. Definitely gives this team a spark. Prediction for them, I'm going to pick them first in the AL West, a very well-balanced team. I think they blow out the competition. That's a good division. I mean, you got Seattle, they'll contend. You got Angels, they'll contend. Texas might even contend. But I really like that division, and I think the Astros are going to blow them away again, just like last year. And last year, the Indians got the number 1 seed in the AL playoffs. I'm going to give it to the Astros this year. I think the Astros are going to be the best team in the American League. I'm predicting another 100-win season for them. But we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching, guys. Like this video. Subscribe. There will be more team previews coming up. Up next is going to be episode 2 of the Los Angeles Dodgers. That will be coming out soon. Thanks for watching.